friend Michael and I had spent the last 6 months preparing for this trip, feeling like we had just won the golden ticket to Willy Wonka's chocolate factory. See, some people can be waiting years for this invite, so when the email came through saying our application was accepted, we were ecstatic. Planning for this adventure basically involved a month straight going back and forth on whether or not it would be worth having donkeys carry our luggage down because of the price, which we did decide to do, and boy were we grateful for that. Our day started off leaving the Havasupai Lodge at 5 a.m., doing a variety of U-turns, probably as the result of the lack of coffee shops in the area, as we were trying to find the right turn for the road leading us to Havasupai Hilltop Parking in the dark. As we drove down the road, watching the sun rise, we watched the temperature drop to 16 degrees Fahrenheit, each of us making jokes while slightly panicking that we did not pack warm enough clothes, although Michael had packed much better than I did.
20
Let's go 30.
30-mile hike. It is 30 degrees. We had a bet on the way up here. I said it was going to be over 47 by the time we hit the trail. He said it would be under 47. The entire time up here, it was about 17 to 19 degrees, which is really cold considering I brought cut-off shirts, ankle socks.
Prepared. I have snow clothes, thermal socks, thermal undershirts. I'm ready to go.
In planning for the trip, outside of a prior warning about a bunch of campers getting sick from contaminants in the water and recent floods that had cleared out the area, we both actually didn't really know much about what we were getting ourselves into. We continued our journey deeper into the valley as we marveled at all the different layers of colored sediment along the Grand Canyon walls. These moments kind of felt like the intro to Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, as young Indy went through the tunnels looking for the Cross of Coronado. The hike was long, and as we walked in silence for a stretch, I couldn't help but contemplate so many different things that were going on in my life. I started this journey years ago with the intent to tell some of my life stories and experiences. However, over the last few years, I felt like half of my trips have just been a distraction from all my troubles. Packed with so many creative goals, adventures, risks, and relationships, it has been more of a recovery mission rather than a creative one. And well, now I'm trying to rewrite that narrative. As we got closer to town, we could see the blue water running under a bridge as the sun came out. Saying that it looked surreal would be an understatement. We just couldn't process it.
All right, you're not going to be able to see what I'm going to tell you right now, but the sand, if you look at it, when you're walking with the sun directly behind you, it sparkles light blue, but it's red.
We reached the final stretch. I could see random blue sparkles in the clay, wondering if this was partially some of the minerals that make the water look blue. We began to hear the roar of waterfalls, and even though tired from our downhill descent, now we were ecstatic, trying to take photos of every little bit of blue we could see through the grass, eventually deciding it would probably be best for us to get to camp as the midday winter sun already started to lower as the canyon shadows grew. We found a beautiful site right next to the river, and one thing that was really nice, since it was the end of season, is that a lot of campers had left supplies that they did not want to carry back in a central location, so we stocked up on propane as well as a couple other food items that were laying out, and we were ready to explore. Initially, we were trying to figure out if water was drinkable, as we did not pack nearly enough. But thankfully, one of our camp neighbors told us that there was a spring, and that's how we ended up getting most of our water. We still didn't trust it based on the prior reports of people getting helicopter lifted out because of a bacteria in the water, so we ended up boiling it as well as filtering it. Completely exhausted, we decided to make dinner and put in for the night. This happened to be the night of the harvest moon, so I told Michael that I was going to run up to the falls and take a couple quick photos before sunset. I captured what I think is one of the prettiest pictures ever taken of Havasupai Falls, as the harvest moon rose over the side of the canyon, lighting up the blue falls while the setting sun cast an orange light on the face of the canyon. The shadows in the trees created an ominous look that was straight out of a fairy tale, and was one of the most picturesque moments I've ever seen in nature. As I came back to camp, the temperature had dropped significantly, and I couldn't wait to climb into my sleeping bag and pass out. The next day, we decided to explore all of the falls, which basically required going uphill back the way we came. Now, after 10 miles of hiking, our legs were feeling it. I don't know if I've ever been to a place where, looking around, so many people were just standing with their mouth agape. Hidden Falls had a stunning orange backdrop of the Grand Canyon, juxtaposed against dark water and an incredibly unique sandstone formation. You would think this would be crumbly dirt, but you could actually climb it as it was rock solid. Navajo Falls had rainbows of water overspraying the green foliage with beautiful blue water shadows, and you can swim in it at certain parts of the day, receiving just enough sun to make you feel like you were warm. Also, there was a really unique hidden cave structure behind the falls that you could climb into if you were brave enough. Havasupai Falls, being absolutely stunning, looked like a gigantic swimming pool. Probably the bluest water I've ever seen outside of French Polynesia. Mooney Falls, being the tallest, was a dramatic beauty, with one of the most treacherous and unique borderline Disneyland themed paths to get to the bottom. Finally, Beaver Falls, basically a cascading infinity pool, but we decided not to spend too much time there as it was quite crowded. Each of these landscapes had a unique series of obstacles, and one of my favorite being this random palm tree in the middle of the Grand Canyon, which looks like it had been there for over 100 years. Now on the way to Beaver Falls, we were joking about burying treasure there because if there was any spot that treasure was going to be buried, it would be by the one random palm tree in the middle of the Grand Canyon. I gotta say, traveling with the right people makes the biggest difference. You have to have such a good balance of keeping things lighthearted and fun while being able to take risks seriously and traveling with someone that is up for big challenges, especially when the trails are not always that easy. Michael and I had the time of our life on this trip. We had hiked through hauntingly eerie blue water forests covered in orange dirt and birch trees, got startled by stray pit bulls that happened to be looking for some scraps, hiked over 30 miles in just a few days, making the complete trek to Beaver Falls barefoot. We swam in the blue waters under Havasupai Falls, climbed in and out of the caves behind Navajo Falls, the kind of caves that you only dream about as a child when you hear stories of cowboys hiding from the law. Laid in a hammock next to a blue stream, watching the moon rise over the canyon. Descended through a cave in the side of a mountain, down ladders, chains to get to the lower valley. The list goes on and on. What I felt more than anything was an overwhelming amount of gratitude to have the privilege to stay and enjoy such a beautiful place by its gatekeepers, the Supai Indian Tribe, the people of the blue water.